Hi, my name is Catherine Farrant and welcome to my free detox webinar. I'm here in the studio having just recorded my eczema webinar and I'm so excited to just chat a few things detox. Detoxification is actually super important when it comes to inflammatory skin conditions like eczema, but actually I think the way that the modern world gets it wrong is that they look at detoxification as a once-off event. So it might be like, oh, I'm going to go on a green juice fast. I'm going to go in the sauna for a week and not eat meat. I'm going to, which is the opposite of what I would do when it comes to detoxification. Detoxification is something designed by God so perfectly in the body that it should constantly just be an ongoing process, bubbling up inside of the body and never, ever stopping. So if you're a kind of person that goes on a crash diet every now and then, or you try and do something to open your detox pathways, like ice bathing, etc., and you think that doing it in short stints or in once-off events is going to help, you are just doing your body a disservice. You want a strong, active detoxification system that is constantly running, peaking when it needs to detox more and dipping down when there's less need for detox. Our body is the most perfect detoxification machine. And I always say to people, try not to be afraid of chemicals in your environment. Now, you're talking to me, I've got 3 companies, Kinetic Blueprint, which teaches. I've got Fierce Nature, which does natural skincare and makeup. I've got Os Organic, which does natural food, and soon to launch Kinetic Clean, which will do natural cleaning products. Why? Because I am super aware of what toxins in the environment do to the body and do to people over a long period of time. It's no news to anyone that we've seen a prolific rise of cancer. It is now common, more common than not, for people to suffer from cancer later on in life, and in some cases in infants, newborns, babies, and children. We've got a more rise of autoimmune conditions. So stuff like Hashimoto's, Crohn's disease. These are modern illnesses that come with what we call chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is also very closely linked to the prolific rise of eczema. I speak about it in my eczema webinar. Actually, to be honest, eczema is only 50 to 80 years old, this disease of this chronic skin infection. So it's never has there been a time where it is more important that we understand how to get our body into detoxification mode. The first and most important point of detoxification is the opposite of what the world will tell you, and that is to nourish your body. Everyone believes that when they're on a mission to detox, that they need to cut everything out and go on some kind of a cleanse. A juice cleanse is probably the worst thing you could ever do for yourself, because you're encouraging your body to feed off of thin sugars. In actual fact, if you're going to do any form of a cleanse, I would look at a biblical water fast. If you haven't understand biblical fasting before, I talk about it in my podcast. Or I would look at something like, because it's impossible to water fast for long periods of time without the strength of God, and truly having done that, I can speak to it. Or otherwise, I would look at a bone broth fast. Why? Because you get the beautiful amino acids, the glycine and the collagen of broth without any sugar, 0 sugar, which means your body is starved of sugar and you're starving things like candida and other negative bacteria or microorganisms in the body that are harming your microbiome and causing what we call a defunct gut or poor gut health. So nourishing the body is the key to detoxification. And how do we do that? One thing that people don't want to talk about is we eat good fat. And I believe, in my opinion, we eat good meat and we eat good fruit. And that is what I would call a detox diet: fat, meat, and fruit. Fat, organic stuff like ghee, tallow, we make that at Os Organic for very good reason. I lived for 29 years before I got better, being absolutely terrified of fat and never, ever having been sicker. Now as a family, we live on avocados, coconut oil, fatty cuts of meat like ribeye, knuckle, shin, joints, all grass-fed, free range if we're eating chicken, although I rely more on lamb and beef for healing, especially if you've got eczema or a skin condition and you're trying to heal your gut. Those are the 2 proteins that are most beneficial. And then finally, fruit, because unlike vegetables, fruit is not as antagonistic to the gut. Some vegetables can contain things called lectins. You can look it up yourself. Lectins. And other vegetables contain things called anti-nutrients, which you can look up yourself as well and go and see why. My mom's always saying to me, your children don't eat enough vegetables. And I say, no, it's for very good reason. And I'm very happy with them having fruit, meat, and fat. And that is the way in which we would go on some version of a detoxification. Lots and lots and lots of bone broth, collagen, which we do at Os Organic, certified grass-fed, in order for the body to be nourished. And once the body is nourished, every single function in the body has enough fuel to function at its optimal capacity, and that's where the detox system can really come into play. Now, there are certain things that you would be eliminating if you lived on a diet of meat, fruit, and fat, and that is where we see detoxification coming in. It's the same with a diet of eczema. Anything that is aggravating the gut, so stuff like wheat, processed foods, gluten, sugar. Some cases it might be eggs, but not all. In some cases it might be peanuts. Well, definitely. Peanuts are full of mold. Oats are full of glyphosates. Peanuts, oats, corn, because they're genetically modified. So get your diet clean when it comes to detoxification, and then look outside of yourself. So that would be what we're putting on our skin and what we're exposed to in our environment. Elimination is key. Once you've nourished yourself through the correct foods, you can have lashings of salt, butter, you can have raw cream, raw milk, you can enjoy things like berries with cream, you can really, really, really nourish your diet, get your diet nourished, look at things like organ supplements and other supplementation that you may be working with a functional doctor on, or that you yourself feel your body needs. I'm not a doctor and don't give advice in that regard. But after you've done that, let's look at the environment, the world in which we live, what's happening around us and what we can remove. Laundry detergent, what are you washing your clothes with? What are you using on your skin? Are you still using aerosol aluminum filled deodorants? What does your makeup cupboard look like? Is your makeup full of toxic and really strong makeup? So a perfect example of that would be a waterproof mascara. What are you washing your hair with? What are you highlighting your hair with? What color are you putting in your hair? How often are you exposing yourself to chemicals? Are you sitting in an office all day long under bright white junk light? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you resting? Are you allowing your body enough time to heal? Are you over exercising? Are you overstressing your body? What's a perfect example of overstressing your body? All these people going on the news and other places and telling you to do cold therapy and jump in cold baths every 5 minutes of your life. Well, in actual fact, it's a massive stressor to the body and actually can cause your body to feel like it's under stress, and then all the things that come up within body associated with high levels of stress will become a problem in your life, and you might not be able to attribute that just to the stress of cold therapy, which is good every now and then, of course, but not as a daily practice, because the body becomes numb to it and will just end up being a stressor as opposed to anything else that might be good about cold therapy. And then finally, because it's a free webinar and I don't have all that much time, I'm just going to go through the quick tricks and hacks that I do in order to boost detoxification when something's going on. So activated charcoal is something we always have in our home. It's brilliant for sickness, it's brilliant for nausea, it's brilliant for food poisoning, it's brilliant for tummy ache, it's brilliant for cramps, it's brilliant for spasms in the stomach where you don't understand. It's completely natural. It's derived from coconut shells, and you can use it in children and adults alike. I would take up to 10 capsules. It's got a strong mega absorbency power. So if you have cramps, stomach ache, diarrhea, food poisoning, it will get rid of it in a minute, and is really, really good. And with children, I would put 1 or 2 capsules into a little bit of orange juice or cranberry juice or something fairly sweet, because it's quite gritty and earthy in its flavor, although quite neutral. Zeolite. I don't know how many people I've heard about zeolite. It's a natural mineral from the earth with high absorptive qualities, and it gets distilled in a natural water, and we spray 3 sprays under the tongue every morning, me and all the children, and it allows for heavy metal chelation. So it's able for the heavy metals to be drawn and pulled out of the body, because it is stuff like mercury, aluminium, and other things that we are getting through tuna. I had toxic mercury poisoning because I ate more tuna than probably anyone on planet Earth. Growing up, I think I was eating 8 to 10 tunas a week for like 10 years. I was really ill. So zeolite will help with heavy metal absorption and pulling heavy metals out of the body. Aluminium, again, stop using aluminium foil in the kitchen, because these heavy metals do sit in the body. Processed foods, really look at the way in which you're eating and be careful. Don't drink coffee in plastic cups. Don't warm up plastic in the microwave, all that kind of stuff. But zeolite and charcoal will help to draw that out of the body. Sauna and opening detox pathways is a really, really important one. So sweating, really, really important. Toilet, really, really important. How often are you going to the toilet? How is your digestive system working? And how are you feeling in yourself? There are a myriad of other hacks when it comes to detoxification. I'm going to put all of them in points below, and I want you to reach out to me and let me know what's working for you and what isn't. And thank you so much for just taking the time to have a quick overview of detoxification. Nourish the body, eliminate anything that is causing issues, and use binders in order to pull heavy metals and other toxins out of your body as quickly as possible to support the body's natural and beautiful God-designed detoxification system.